Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now May 30th of 2023, and not only are we getting closer to the marketing plan by Jon and Dave for the Ahsoka Tano series, but also for the final trailer, which by the way is all set and ready to debut by this July, to really set things up for that late August release date window for Ahsoka. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support, and without wasting too much of your time, let's get right into the subject. Now, the reason why I really am praising Ahsoka so far is not because of the overall storytelling so far, but because simply Kathleen Kennedy had zero input into the show on a creative level. It was all up to Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau to do what they wanted to do, and it's going to be the first project under Disney's wing where Kathleen Kennedy had zero input. Now that brings us to what Kathleen Kennedy recently had to say that is quite concerning about Indy 5, Skeleton Crew, The Acolyte, and her take on George Lucas and exactly what she was able to provide to both sides of the fandom, or both fandoms, I should say. Now, we all know that Indy 5 is going to drop in a little over 30 days from now, and it's going to be a very big day because this is going to tell us exactly what the true box office results are going to look like. We know that coming out of Cannes Film Festival, it gave us a small idea of how this movie's going to perform because a lot of critics were not that impressed with it, and usually the critics are more, sentimental toward the director and the writer's vision of whatever they're creating. Now, on top of this, with Kathleen Kennedy now promoting The Acolyte, Skeleton, and Indy 5, she recently was able to reveal something substantial to fans of both franchises. Now, she delivered the following. Well, I think when you look at these two franchises like Indy and Star Wars, part of the problem that we tend to meet in modern times is we get too attached to the old vision from George Lucas and it becomes the burden, This was the biggest problem that we met when making the sequel movies of Star Wars and Dial of Destiny, and we just had to dismantle that legacy to embrace the new. I can confirm that I am ending it all forever. I'm ending everything with that, and we think James Mangold did a fantastic job with making that all happen. Lucas's vision was only creating problems for us when we were writing these scripts, and it was time to dismantle them completely so we could attract newcomers, new fans that will be introduced to great equality, diversity, and transparency to our message that we want to send in these movies. We had to do this in order to embrace new ways of filmmaking. Now, let me just stop here for 1 second, alright? Now, again, it seems as though that Kathleen is being a lot more direct with fans and being more vocal about what she really wants to say, and I think a lot of this is rooted to the fact that she knows her job is on the line and everything that comes along with it over at Lucasfilm. And so, either she knows she's going, or if she's at a stage where she just doesn't care what happens to her by Disney executives and the board, etc., on their decision of whether or not they want to keep her or fire her. I think at the end of the day, the way that she's being a lot more direct these past couple of weeks, and how she also got pretty angry in that interview when she was questioned about Kevin Feige's movie being cancelled. You guys may recall that, of how she really hates that word cancelled, and that no movies are ever cancelled, she says. Movies are only put on the back burner, and she got very defensive. I don't know about you guys, but nowadays Kathleen Kennedy's more direct. She has a specific look too. She looks... I can't really explain it. There's something about her that looks different. Something about her that looks a little bit more determined. When you look at her face, it looks like she's got something going on in her mind. Something is off, for sure. And when we look at the Indy 5 promotions, she's being more and more direct and transparent about disconnecting George Lucas's vision and the old style of Indiana Jones. And I think that this fits directly in with what the critics said at Cannes, is that the heroic character is back as in Indiana, but the thrill is gone. And the reason why the thrill is gone, obviously, is because of what Kathleen Kennedy is saying here. They ditched the old style of Indiana Jones, and they are embracing a new style. Similar to what they did with Acolyte and Skeleton Crew. Same exact thing for Star Wars. Basically, the Acolyte is Frozen meets Kill Bill meets The Matrix, And then you got Skeleton Crew, which is Star Wars meets The Goonies meets Stranger Things. It's very odd stuff, and it seems like Kathleen Kennedy can never just create her own story, and really is just always taking elements of other shows or movies out there. But moving on, she goes on to state, we are making sure that we never have to revisit those visions again, also with the Acolyte and Skeleton. To us, that's done for and over with, so that we can really create new styles of formats and tones that we can create for our upcoming shows. And we felt that we succeeded with Skeleton Crew, and especially for Acolyte, when we had to make that disconnect from George's vision. It just had to happen. It was time. I think fans are going to come to love our new take on Indy 5 and how it separates itself from Lucas's treatments of the past films. We really feel it's going to be a hit globally, and everyone is going to come to welcome it in open arms. It's truly going to change the Indy lore in great ways. Again, I don't know about you guys, but Kathleen Kennedy seems like she's beginning to really do this all on purpose. It may sound a little crazy, and it may sound quite overboard to think that she is doing this on purpose, because look, if you really are trying to sabotage franchise after franchise, it's just insane. It really is. It would mark you as the worst leader or the worst producer in Hollywood history, in my opinion. Why would you want to be that, is my biggest question. Why would you even want to have that kind of acknowledgement by common moviegoers and different fandoms? Is just beyond me. And what's even worse, to make this even all the more worse, as it turns out, Kathleen Kennedy has a large hand in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She's a really great friend of Kevin Feige, and she's been telling Kevin Feige to do this and that with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And we're going to be talking more about that a little bit later, because there's a lot to talk about with that side of things, and how that's why the latest phase has been a little wishy-washy and off, is because it's all from Kathleen Kennedy convincing Kevin to do this and to do that. They're great friends after all, and that's why he was offered a movie to begin with for Star Wars, by the way. So overall, guys, I mean, I would really begin to worry about Indy 5 here, because it's not sounding good. It's not looking like it's going to be a good movie at all. And unfortunately for Harrison Ford, this may very well be his last blockbuster, or a last movie in the theaters that is part of a big franchise that may not even be a blockbuster. I guess I could just say it like that. It's unfortunate, but that's where we are at today with Kathleen Kennedy. You know, Willow failed, Star Wars got, completely rearranged, and not in a good way, that John and Dave are now trying to fix and piece back together. Indiana Jones, it's pretty much just finished, it's done, it's not going to be what it used to be, period. Especially with the character of Helena being a very bossy character to Indy 5, or in Indy 5, I should say. So, anyways, it's really concerning that she also has a hand in the MCU because of her convincing Kevin Feige to do all these sorts of things with these movies and shows. So, anyways, guys, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again. No.